Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm George Conley with Scratch Golf Tips. Today we're going to be talking about improving our golf game from the mental aspect. Obviously there's a lot of technical and physical things that we can work on to improve our golf, but there's a lot that goes on between the two ears that we can certainly control and better understand, which will facilitate better golf. You may notice a little bit of a scenery change. We just did build out this new quasi studio. We have some nice memorabilia up here. We also have acoustic paneling, so hopefully the sound's a little bit better. We have some nice green lights, the whole 9 yards. So I hope that you guys like this. It's a little bit better visually than what our videos were before. If you all ever want a breakdown of what is exactly in this studio and all the little knickknacks around here, I'd be happy to do it. Just let me know in the comments. But back to the main purpose of the video. The mental aspects of golf are arguably more important than the physical. And this is no more true than when we're actively working to improve our golf swing. I think I speak on behalf of many golfers when I say the most frustrating point in golf is when we're actively trying to change our golf swing for the better. Now, speaking for myself, when I started golfing a lot about 5 or 6 years ago, after a year or two, I knew that my golf swing wasn't good enough as it was to really fine tune it and become a solid golfer. So what I had to do was I had to change some pretty drastic parts of my golf swing. I almost did a complete golf swing overhaul. Now, before that overhaul, I could solidly strike the ball, and there were things that were absolutely good about that swing, but I wanted to be able to work the ball different ways. I wanted to be more consistent. But that middle ground, the first few practice sessions that I did working on that golf swing, I was hitting it well maybe 10% of the time. And that is inherently very frustrating. To go from good and striving for great, that middle area is a lot of bad. I hit a lot of shanks. I hit a lot of thin shots. I chunked a lot of shots. At one point I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can change my swing at all. But in reality, all you're working towards is a better golf swing. So you need to understand that you're gonna have to change some things. Most notably, you're gonna be very uncomfortable. And that lack of comfort obviously manifests itself when you're standing over the golf ball, but it manifests itself even more when you're looking at the ball. You're standing behind the ball and you're saying, I can't hit this golf shot, or I don't know how my body should address this shot. That is the mental aspect that we really need to conquer and overcome. And there are a few ways to do that. One way that we can be more sharp mentally on the course and be more confident between the ears is simply by hitting a bunch of golf balls. Chipping a lot, spending a lot of time on the putting green. The more time that we spend physically going through it, the more comfortable we'll be. Tiger Woods in his prime would always say to the press, I'm never nervous because I know that I put in the work. Tiger would practice relentlessly. So even if it's a 10-foot putt in the US Open to force a playoff against Rocco Mediate, he doesn't stand over that putt like, oh my gosh, I need to make this. He stands over that putt thinking, I have spent hours and hours on this putt. I just got to hit a good one like I know how to. So that's one part that we can do to really help our mentals while working on the golf swing. Another thing that we can do that is very important, especially for amateur golfers that so many people get caught up in, is getting rid of the idea of perfection. I know that it sounds really silly, but there is no such thing as the perfect golf swing, the perfect golf game, the perfect strike, what have you. But so many amateurs, especially people who are 15 and 20 handicaps, they're hitting a few good shots, they hit one bad shot, and then they get really down on themselves. And it's just silly because if you're not practicing like a pro, if you don't have staffing like a pro, training like a pro, you're not going to play anywhere near a professional golfer. And it's very important to accept that. Even looking at professional golfers, our view of what professional golfers are capable of is very jaded, because when we watch professional golf on television, not only are you watching the leaders of the golf tournament, who are the golfers who are playing the best golf in the world that weekend, we're watching their best shots. So we were watching the very best shots from the very best golfers in the world playing their very best golf. So it's not a great indicator of what golf really looks like. Now, I've been lucky enough to play golf with a lot of great golfers, people who are scratch handicaps, people who are plus handicaps. And playing a round of golf with them is not like sitting on the edge of your cart every shot saying, oh my gosh, he just stuck it to 3 feet. Oh my gosh, he did it again. It's not like that. It's more like, oh, he hasn't hit a really bad shot yet, or she hasn't hit a really bad shot yet. The best golfers hit bad shots, but they're able to come back from them. Maybe they flare an iron out and they can easily get it up and down for par. You know, they can make 10-foot putts. They don't make a ton of 70-foot putts. That's the nature of the beast. So understanding where your game is a huge aspect to that mental game. Knowing, hey, I slice the golf ball, it's something that happens sometimes, and I've worked away from it, I've gotten better, but that slice is still there. Understanding that notion, and if you have water on the right side of the hole, if you're a right-handed golfer, aim a little bit left. Don't play for that perfect shot every time, because you're not gonna hit that perfect shot every time. Understand where your boundaries are, understand who you are as a golfer, and play to those strengths and play to what you know. Because even if you're playing to what you know, and what you know is a very ugly 30-yard power fade or slice, it's not perfect, but that's what you know. And that's what's going to give you confidence on the golf course. And that's what matters. Because if you're standing over a golf ball and you're saying, man, if I hit the perfect 1-yard baby draw, this is going to be within 5 feet and I'll make the putt. You're not going to stand over that ball confidently, especially if you have a 6-iron from 190 out. The average golfer cannot hit that shot very well. But if you're 190 out and you say, well, maybe I'm just gonna hit this 5-iron and I'm gonna hit a big fade because that's what I know how to do. It won't look pretty, but I think I can get it up around the green. And if I get it on the green, I'll 2-putt. If not, I'll try and scramble for par. That's what's going to work. That's what's gonna make you comfortable, it's gonna make you confident, and you'll be surprised how much more fun golf is when you embrace this lack of perfection and you manage your expectations. Trust me, I've gone through periods where I'm playing good golf and I'm going out there and I'm thinking birdie every hole. And I don't make birdie every hole, trust me. But when I make a tap-in par, I'm kicking myself. I'm like, man, I gotta get a birdie on the next one. And that's not fun. It's competitive, but I've never played high-level competitive golf. So why am I thinking that way? Whereas now that I'm not playing as much golf, I'm not shooting those lower scores that I once shot, I just look at every hole like, oh, that was a nice par. Maybe I get a birdie or two around, but maybe I get a nice bogey save. Having that management of my expectations as a golfer not only makes me more comfortable throughout a round, I have a lot more fun, and I would assume I'm much more fun to play with. I hope some of these points were salient and that you learned a few things about golf, especially the mental aspects. It's so easy in golf to talk about over the top, shallowing the club. I know that these swing analysis that I do on the page, they're very technical, but it's important to not only recognize that technical aspects of the golf swing, but also look at the mental part of the game, because that is equally as important as anything that we can do with our body and the golf club in our hands. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below. We read and reply to all the comments on these videos. If you'd like to see more content like this in the future, you can subscribe to the Scratch Golf Tips YouTube channel. You can also turn on post notifications, and that's going to allow you to be notified every time we come out with a new video. And finally, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like rating on it. That helps YouTube show this type of content to more people who will find it helpful. It also helps me see what type of content you are all enjoying so that I can cater future uploads to what you guys like to see. Thank you all very much for watching. Play well and take care.